Well, being that it's getting stupid late in the year and the potato field's still muddy, we got to do something about it. I'm going to plant potatoes this afternoon one way or another. If we can't bale rye, we're going to plant potatoes. So I don't know if we're going to make a how we plant potatoes video or if we're going to make a here's rye cutting and throw some potatoes in there. I guess we'll see when it comes out. So I've got this McCormick Deering horse-drawn 1-row potato hiller. This is an antique. The drawbar is held together with baling wire and nails. Still wood. I have the matching cultivator. Separate machine with the cultivators on it. And we use that too. And I'm not planting anywhere near the potatoes that I normally plant. We'll get some potatoes in the ground and see how they do. But what we do here is we take the inner discs, we take the plant shields off, take the inner discs, move them up to there, pointing backwards. I have a single row potato planter. It's still sitting at my parents'. They'd probably like me to get it out of there. But that was when I was really planting too many potatoes. So we will turn these discs around, which doesn't do a perfect job, but it makes us a trench. We drop our potatoes in, and then we put everything back, and we'll run over it twice to bury them and get a hill started. And then I usually cultivate and hill once more once the plants are going, sometimes more than once. But yeah, there we go. Cody's gonna start ripping pieces apart here, and we'll show it to you working later. Okay, I might have mentioned that we got the tires wheel set on a 50 at 80 inches. The reason being this potato equipment, which is really supposed to be 38, but the wheels are kind of splayed out to 40. We say 38 to 40, whatever. So in order to line up with this, we swing the drawbar. Got this piece I hacked out of an I-beam. Bolt it on, move it over to here, and then I got 2 holes in here, and we argue every year which one it goes in. I think we originally started on the outside. And we decided that we were always just a little bit off, so we moved it in there, but we always argue about which way it goes. So we're gonna go pick up a few rocks out of that potato field. It's still a little damp, but I gotta get this done. There's other things to do, so we're gonna take that minty 77 Oliver there, and we're gonna run that through the field and pick the rocks in a bucket and run a disc through it one more time to fluff it up, and then we're gonna get going on this potato planting. Cody says wait till his sister gets home to help. All right, so we got potatoes in the ground, and we got to bury them. It's a little wetter than I like to see, but it's we're way in June here. So we put 2 rows of these Vikings, which are red, almost purple, yellow flesh potato. It's all my dad plants. I got the seed from him. Then I got a row North Dakota russets. And I got a row of Kennebecks. And I got a row of Pontiacs, which wet year, dry year, whatever. These red Pontiacs are probably the most reliable potato I've found around here. And then the 6th row is a mixed bag of all the seed we had left. I got more seed. I could plant a whole bunch more, but we'll just do that. So we just walk along with a bucket and a piece of PVC pipe and throw them in about every foot. Like I said, I got a planter, but now some of you might be asking, Will, what is all that white stuff? Surely you're not putting urea on a root crop. And that's what I heard my whole life. Phosphorus, potash, which we have plenty of. Sure, composted cow manure would be nice, but I like to move the potatoes every year, and that's what works. I also like my potatoes to grow, so I've been doing a fair number of potatoes, many times way more than this, since I came back from Alaska. So in Michigan I had a lot of potatoes. Here I've had a lot more potatoes than this. How many potatoes can you eat? It gets almost out of hand. But anyway, back to the nitrogen. So once upon a time when I was buying wood down in central Wisconsin, where they grow a fair number of potatoes, I was looking at a job, and the guy had some land he was leasing, renting out to farmer under a pivot, and they were working it up, and then they were there with a fertilizer buggy, and I walked over the edge of the field and I looked at it and I said, man, a lot of urea they're putting on there. I asked the guy, what are they planting there? Oh, potatoes. I said, what's with all the urea? And he said, well, if you want to grow potatoes, you got to have the leaves to do it. And I said, hey, I think the guy's onto something. I mean, if you drive by a actual potato farm, and I don't know what, you know, other places maybe it's different, but down there in the Central Sands, they need some nitrogen for it. I mean, I don't have excess amounts of nitrogen in this ground. Works a heck of a lot better. I mean, they usually canopy right over, shade everything out. So if you can keep the weeds off of them till they really get going. Huge vines, huge. And you end up with a lot of big potatoes. So I've been putting a fair amount of nitrogen on my potatoes since that time, and they have no doubt improved. So we're gonna fire up this 50. Cody is ready to go, and we'll bury these potatoes, which doesn't always work perfectly. We usually go over them twice, but it's usually all right. This should start up all right. for as wet as it is. I'm burying them all right. Fertilizer mixes in there at the hills, and it's right there for the roots to take it up as they need it. Hayfield over there with the trefoil in it. It's a lot better than it was. Last year was a disaster. Dry. But it's coming along. You see that nut on the front axle there, the adjusting nut. You keep that right over the potatoes. The hiller lines up pretty good. Now, got a couple repairs there. I got a little bit off. Well, there you go. We're gonna run through these a second time. I'm sure you've seen enough potato burying. Put up a potato video. Well, there we go. They're buried twice. Surely I will let you know how they're going. I don't know if it's too late to put sweet corn in. Maybe I'll put some over there. Hopefully we won't have the wretched blister beetles chewing on the potatoes this year. The last 2 years are real dry. I never had a problem with blister beetles in my life, but oh, they were thick the last couple years. They don't last that long. Most effective thing we found was to knock the plant, take a 5-gallon bucket, walk down a row, and when you see an infestation of them, knock them in the bucket. Kind of do the same thing with potato bugs. When we have potato bugs, it was a very cold winter. First year I lived here and planted potatoes here, I had potato bugs. They were kind of a pain. And then we had one heck of a cold winter without much snow. Never had a potato bug for 6 years. Now I've had last few years I've had a couple. Now the potatoes were right here last year. I put the cows on it. before I put them behind the barn early winter. So they mucked around in there and chewed it up, packed it down. It was a cold winter, but like I said, good snow cover, so I don't know, maybe some survived. I hope every one of them wretched things died. But there we go. We have potatoes planted. This is the latest I have ever planted potatoes in my life anywhere. But my grandpa always tells the story of a really wet year. This is back in the UP when he was young. Neighbors planted potatoes on the 4th of July. And according to him, he never saw potatoes like that in his life. So potatoes are short season crop. They'll grow fast and you always get potatoes out of them, so I'm sure we'll be just fine for the winter. All right, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Been getting a few more subscribers lately. That's a great thing. Hopefully I'm showing you something interesting. Have a nice day.